Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports. It's your boy, Hanger, looking for a beer. Actually, we're all looking for a beer, so if you want to buy the guys a beer, at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports on Venmo. That's it. Easy as drinking a beer. All right, it is 8 o'clock at MJ's Bar and Grill. Welcome to Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, the number one podcast in Lake Carolina, probably the number one podcast in the Northeast Columbia, maybe like the number 10 podcast in Columbia, South Carolina, possibly in the top 100, but we've done more episodes than most people have in South Carolina, I'm sure. So I think we're going somewhere with this thing in Season 3, Episode 2. What do you think, my man Ripper?
I think number one podcast in the history of ever, of all time, anywhere.
I was telling somebody over at another table over here, I think he goes by the name, what was his name? His nickname we decided to call him? Boneyard or something?
No,
what's your nickname?
Bone Cutter.
Bonesaw! So we got Bonesaw over here eating some food, and I was telling him, oh God, I forgot what I was telling him actually, but
it was a great story. You should have been there.
It was totally a great story. I forgot because I was trying to figure out this guy's name. So, but welcome to Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Another week 2, and we're going into the college football season real quick now. It is actually coming up soon.
Week zero.
Week zero. Now, I'm trying to figure this out, my man Ripper. Why in the hell is it week 0? Why can't it be week 1? Like, they don't even give that first weekend credits before Labor Day weekend.
So
What's going on?
The games count, but it's not a full slate of games.
It's not really a full slate of games. We're doing a podcast right now.
You're live.
And
right
you
now.
are live.
Yes.
What's your nickname? Give me a biker name, quick.
Jenna.
No, a biker
Your biker name.
Biker name.
Yeah.
Jenna Jet.
There you go.
Jenna
Anyone
Jet.
can be on our podcast because all we do is talk sports. What's your team, Jenna?
Patriots.
Oh, nice. That's my... Okay, Tom Brady, really good. But you've been following since 1986 when they were in the Super Bowl against the Bears, right?
I was before that.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay, that's impressive.
And what about your favorite college team?
Auburn, War Eagle.
What? Oh, my man right here is a graduate, too.
Yeah,
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
I think we got a plant here. I think
Yeah,
something
something
is
happened.
awry here. This can't be true.
People don't usually walk up and they're a Patriots fan and a War Eagle
No,
fan.
seriously. When I moved to Alabama, because I lived in Birmingham,
You have to pick it.
I was like, they said to me, you have to pick, right?
Okay.
So I said, I don't know, I'll just wait and see what happens, right? I went to the first team I could get tickets to was Auburn versus Georgia, and
Oh,
they
wow.
beat them. So I was like, well, I guess I'm a War Eagle fan.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome. You're in the minority in Alabama, but you picked the right
That
school.
is true. That is true. Anyway,
Yeah.
all right. Well, sorry, we were just.
No, that's fine. Come on in. We invite anyone that wants to be on the show. So there you go. I do not have my golf cart here, so someone left their lights on their golf cart. Yeah. So anything can happen on Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. Clearly.
Quick announcement: if there's anybody out there that left your lights on in your golf cart, please come turn them off.
Clearly, we're hearing about it on our
Any
pod-
other Auburn fans that like to show up as well too, feel free to come on down.
Or don't. Or don't.
Random people just pop in on the show. It actually makes it more authentic,
I
doesn't
thought
it?
it was kind of unique and happening that we had one of our table people here arrived late, and no more he got here, and then the Auburn fan came up.
Yeah, we were thinking she was a
Collusion.
plant.
I call collusion.
My man Hanger over here, or Chopper. What is your name, Chopper or Hanger?
Your name's Hanger, I think.
All right, so you're Chopper.
Yeah.
See, we go by nicknames for some random reason on this show. I'm not sure why. We just figured it out one day.
Yeah,
We were like, let's just
I mean,
go.
why
Like,
not?
Why not? Yeah. But my man Chopper walks in and he says, hey, run over there and pretend you're a Patriots fan, and then pretend you're a Auburn fan, and then it's really going to be cool for the show.
It's like the most amazing podcast fan ever.
I know, but it makes it more authentic, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so I was talking about my man Boneyards over there, or whatever.
Bonesaw
over there, who's a Carolina fan.
like Civil War.
Okay, is that how we're gonna go about it? All right, and
I don't need your Civil War.
but then we were talking about week 0, and you were about to give me the skinny on what's going on.
It's just
my
not
man.
a full slate of games. So even though the
Okay.
games count, it's not a full slate of games. You might have.
No, I
you
think
know,
there's
a
like
dozen
10 or 12 games
total.
going. Yeah.
So you don't have the whole field of games. So this is unofficially week 0, Labor Day weekend, the official start of college football when you get a full slate of games. Yeah, that's why it's week 0.
I'm ready for the Hawaii versus Vanderbilt game and the North Carolina versus some random team game as well. But the most interesting game of the week is going to be in Ireland, Northwestern versus Nebraska. Nebraska Cornhuskers are going to win that game, and they're going to end up in the Big Ten championship, winning the West.
So
What do you
why
think
are
about
they?
their?
Oh, go ahead.
What do you think about their practices so far, and these kids vomiting and puking? And what do you think about that? You think that's all
Yeah,
just
Scott
kind of?
Frost, that's your boy right
You
there.
think that's just all kind of made up, or?
I don't think he's making anything up. I think that it might actually happen, but
It sounds exaggerated a little.
it totally sounds exaggerated a little bit. Like if you get like 1 puke per time, but I mean maybe they have a buffet right before practice. Who knows? Like maybe he's making it happen. Maybe he's like, all right, we're gonna practice on a full stomach because that's gonna make it harder for y'all to, I don't know, give you the meat sweats. Give you some meat sweats or something. Who knows? But
So you mentioned Nebraska and Northwestern are playing in Dublin.
they're
Last
playing
week
in
we
Dublin.
talked about how college football is going to slowly, potentially transition, in my opinion, to the pro model. What do we see here? We see college football being played overseas, just like the NFL has done
Yeah,
for the last 5 years.
Jacksonville Jaguars been going over there to London for the last.
Just moving, inching towards that pro model every year.
Yeah, I mean it's good for the game. I know one thing is Scott Frost during a lot of the interviews that he's doing and stuff. The press conferences. He's been a little bit agitated about having to go over there because it throws the entire practice schedule off. It throws everything off. You got you have a full day of travel, 24 hours basically of travel. Plus you got to readjust to being 6 or 7 hours ahead of time.
Yeah, probably almost makes you sick 15 to 20 times a day.
Yeah, but then you come back, and you got to readjust again. So you're gonna spend a whole day traveling on that Sunday or Monday. Get back, you got to readjust. Like your entire practice is off, and then you got to go play some football the next week. You know. Luckily, they're playing like North Dakota or something like that, or South Dakota State. So it's not going to be a big game, but still, all games are big games if you're Nebraska. Like they're not.
Absolutely.
There's not that high of an expectation for them. But I've just been wondering, why can't they just do a bunch of big games on the week 0 then and make it week 1?
And who knows, with the new scheduling format, the way that they're playing more conference games, that might happen.
Either everybody does it or nobody does it, right? So you don't want to be the team. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns in week 1, right?
Yeah, there
You
are.
want to kind of iron those out against a lesser opponent if you can, in my opinion.
I have no clue, but I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe it has something to do with the school's testing schedule. Maybe they want to get started that week early. That way they can have off for a certain period of midterms potentially. I don't know.
I mean, it could be. But if we start getting into the situation where there is a 16-team playoff, you might have a situation where they start that week 0 full slate of games, and then everyone gets an extra bye week that year or something, because Nebraska has 2 bye weeks this year. So if you end up in a situation like that, that might be a good way to add a 16-team or a 12-team playoff and maybe figure out ways to make something work like that, you know? Who knows? I mean, I'm just purely speculating while I eat my chicken bites and drink my beer at the bar while I talk sports. So,
That's yours.
North Carolina plays Florida A&M. I was hoping my man Chief would be here for this because I wanted him to kind of talk about that, but he wasn't able to make it because why wasn't he here?
Too late.
It's too late. And
Hey, when you're the chief,
I was going to give him so much crap for that, but then I decided not to because I love the guy and he's one of my favorite people. I mean, he's the mayor of our neighborhood, so figure might as well go in. But anyway, let's move past all the BS with this weekend because it's not that big of a slate of games, and let's move on to Heisman contenders. Who is the number one Heisman? Who leads the pack for Heisman right now, week 0?
Well, it's either Bryce Young or it's C.J. Stroud, one of the two. Those would be your 1A, 1B, without playing a snap in 2022.
Yeah. That could change, though.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Absolutely. One thing that I think is going to hurt C.J. Stroud from having Heisman-like numbers is that Ohio State's offense is going to look to have a more balanced approach to the season. Last year they were pass-heavy, even though they did have a 1,000-yard running back. They're going to look to balance things out a little more. That way they can win in multiple ways instead of just throwing over top, because as we saw last year, that doesn't win championships. You got to be multi-dimensional. So that could potentially reduce C.J. Stroud's likelihood of a Heisman. However, if Ohio State can go undefeated and make the playoffs, it's not going to hurt him as long as he continues to put up good numbers.
And the scoring of the game, if they blow out a lot of people, you know, he may play 2 quarters. Who knows? So he's not getting a full game, 3 quarters at the most.
Do you suspect that Ohio State's going to blow out a lot of teams this season? Because Big Ten is pretty solid football for the last several years. I mean,
I didn't expect that we were going to beat Michigan State like 63-0 or whatever it was last year. They were 10-1 at the time. So you got to play it. There's going to be some close games like there always are, and then there's going to be some blowouts that we wouldn't expect. So.
yeah.
I can tell you there is going to be one team out for vengeance this year. It's going to be Alabama. And they're going to be looking to roll everybody over.
Yeah.
And so I think Bryce Young's got to be the favorite. I don't see Alabama losing this year.
Now, so outside of Jamison Williamson, his receiving core, I believe, was fairly inconsistent last year. And they just lost one of their top-rated freshmen, who now is at Texas. So I don't know what their receiving core looks like.
But as long as they keep winning, though, and he's the quarterback of the Alabama team, and they're winning. That's the thing about the Heisman. Is it the best player, or is it the best player on the best team?
Well, it's usually the best player on the best team.
Yeah.
Now, Alabama also got the transfer running back from Georgia Tech, who had, I believe, 1,400 yards last year. Behind Alabama's offensive line, that's probably going to, that's going to look better to some of the voters. So,
Who has a better receiving core around him? C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young?
C.J. Stroud.
Oh, yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
Three receivers supposedly that are like top notch, right?
I think we have at least 3 5-star receivers on the team now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of those receivers could win the Heisman.
Yeah, I think you guys have 3 people that are in the running for the Heisman on your team right
Yeah,
now,
some
right?
people, are predicting that Jackson Smith and Jigba could actually win the Heisman for Ohio State.
Yeah.
He was CJ's favorite target last year, despite having Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. But he's got some other young talent coming up. Marvin Harrison Jr., that kid is a stud. I'm looking for him to have a big year as well. Julian Fleming, former, I think, number 2 overall recruit from 2019.
Okay.
A lot of potential there. So we'll just have to see what happens to see who's getting the ball the most. But outside of, Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, who are some other people we're thinking is possible Heisman candidates?
See, Vegas has Caleb Williams, who's from USC, and I'm looking at his stats from last year, and they're not that good. I mean, 1,900 yards.
Well, he only played half the season.
That's true, and he was at Oklahoma.
Right.
He played the last 7 games, I think it was, plus I guess he would have been in the bowl game as well. So,
yeah, he replaced Spencer Rattler. That's why Spencer got benched.
yeah. But 1,900 yards is solid, I guess, if you take it from that perspective. But at USC, not a star-studded team. I mean, in general.
Well, you got Caleb Williams that is now going to be their quarterback.
Yeah.
They just got Jordan Addison, who was like the Biletnikoff winner, I believe, from Pitt, transferred to USC. So that's going to be his main target. He's going to have an ability to throw the ball. I'm not sure what USC's backfield looks like, but there's definitely.
But he doesn't have 3 5-stars to throw the ball to.
He doesn't.
Whereas, C.J. Stroud will. Yep. Bryce Young has everyone around him, no problem, right? So, and he has Alabama. Like that offensive line is going to give him 1 to 2 extra seconds every play to throw that damn ball.
Is this the year where a sole defensive player wins the Heisman? Will Anderson had a hell of an argument to win the Heisman last year as a linebacker for Alabama. 17 and a half sacks and like 32 tackles for a loss in a single season last year.
Okay.
He's coming back. Those are Heisman numbers.
Yeah.
But can we get away from giving it to, like we said earlier, the best player on the best team, or more often than not, the quarterback on the best team?
Would they take it into account that Bryce Young won it last year?
Yes.
They would. Would they take it into account as a negative or a positive? Would they say, let's give someone else a shot?
Was it from Oklahoma? Won it 2 years in a row.
There's only one
Jason White?
No, there's only one person who won the Heisman twice. Archie Griffin
3 times.
twice.
I think he ran it.
I thought that was an Oklahoma quarterback that won it.
Archie Griffin, number 45, Ohio State.
Okay.
Like 1968, 69, something like that.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the only time we've had.
But these are different people voting now
Yeah, and I think
than back then.
I just don't think anybody will vote somebody a Heisman winner twice. Tim Tebow probably had the best chance at it.
They didn't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think the year he won it, Florida went like 8-4.
Yeah, they did not win the national championship the year they won it. I think it was 07 he won, and then 08 was the championship.
Right.
And yeah, I mean they had a decent season, but it wasn't like they won the national championship.
Right.
But I don't know. I think everybody else on the list is just there for show right now. When you're looking at C.J. Stroud versus Bryce Young, based upon last year's stats. Now, who knows? Are they going to put up the same stats they did last year? Is C.J. Stroud going to break the record at Ohio State like you said they did?
So I think
is that going to happen again?
I'm not positive, but I think I know he set the single game record for passing yardage, and he may have set the season record for passing yardage. Dwayne Haskins still has the single season record for touchdowns. But all that doesn't really, I mean, those are fun little stats for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Really, it's how well can he lead his team to victory. And what we saw with Bryce Young last year is when he brought his team back from behind to beat, was it Georgia or was it Auburn? I think it might have been Auburn.
Auburn.
Yeah, brought Alabama back. Even though he did have a great first half, but he willed his team to victory. I think that's what put him over top to clinch that Heisman last year.
Yeah. I mean, he was a clear winner, didn't he? It was like...
Well, the stats were pretty similar between him and CJ, but he played an additional game than CJ did before the
CJ
postseason.
Stroud's completion percentage was 71.9 versus Bryce's was 66.9. So that's a significant number. That's 5 points, you know?
Yeah, 44-6 to 47-7.
Yeah. Okay, so you know who shows up in the middle of us talking is my woman Cheeks!
Segway.
I never even, we're getting way too serious on a show that's supposed to be kind of like, you know, lighthearted and stuff like that. And I didn't even do an introduction anyway. So let's do an introduction for our fans who need to know who's on the show tonight, because if you haven't figured out yet, my man Chopper is in the house. What are you drinking, Chopper?
Hello. Hold on. I'm drinking Highland Clawhammer Oktoberfest.
Which he needs another one.
Yeah.
And my man Ripper the Predictor with his own, he has his own section on our Substack, if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
Substack or guysinthebar.sports.substack.com.
Yep.
It's called Ripper's Report. The Ripper Report.
That's awesome.
The Ripper Report.
The report.
I did not name it that, so but I will accept that.
The
And
what?
Quick copyright.
The Reports. The Reports.
The Rip Nords.
The
The
Rip
Report.
Report. Oh, that's
Definitely
amazing.
copyright that.
Full of grammatical errors for your viewing pleasure.
Give it a read, give it a like, give it a love, and subscribe to our Substack, guysinthebartalkingsports.substack.com. What are you drinking, Ripper the Predictor?
I'm having a Clawhammer Oktoberfest as well. It's pretty good stuff.
Excellent. He's been a little bit quiet.
And he's on E.
It might be because he's on E on his beer.
I got it.
We got Who's Your Daddy? What are you getting? Who's Your Daddy at the
Getting
bar?
at Sunny Little Things, Sierra Nevada, Sunny Little Things.
That's a
Oh,
good
yum.
one.
That's
Very
good
good.
stuff.
Very good.
And like I said, the woman herself, our favorite diversity hire, but she's not even a diversity hire because we love her and she is the main squeeze on our show. We got Shakes. What are you drinking, Shakes?
Hi everyone. Then tonight I am drinking the UFO Journey to Planet Pumpkin. It's my first pumpkin beer of the year. It's so good.
Is
So
it?
good.
UFO. Where is it made?
Wherever UFO is made.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I can't turn it.
it might be made in Canada, eh?
It should be
I mean,
made.
who knows where it's made? So let's.
See? I tried to turn it.
I'm not gonna put you on the spot.
No.
It has pumpkin puree in it, though, huh?
Yeah.
That sounds
Are you
delicious.
shotgunning that right now?
Yeah. Well, I tried to. Look at the mess I made.
And then we got my man something over there.
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw.
What are you drinking, Bonesaw? I'm drinking beer. All right, he's drinking beer. My man himself, Bonesaw.
Oh, I like
Shiner Bock.
Oh, Shiner Bock.
Oh, not a Bock.
Oh, Shiner IPA.
Oh, a Sheepa.
Oh, Texax.
Yeah.
The Texax or something like that. Now, we're doing free advertisement for all these beer companies. One day they're going to buy us around. Oh,
You haven't got yours yet?
I don't get free anything.
Hey,
Someone bought me around a beer once.
I'll buy your next one.
Nah, I'm fine, man.
Awesome.
That's a big one. Yeah.
Let's switch the subject from introductions over to new coaches.
Wait, go
okay?
back a second. Did you
All
guys
right.
talk about Caleb Williams? Because he's my pick.
All right, so why is he your pick? Because you're from California?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put a lot of stock behind that one.
For real.
I mean,
know.
they're going to be well
You
coached.
called me out on that one. Yeah.
USC is going to be well coached. They're not going to play anyone worth a crap except for Oregon, maybe.
Utah.
They're not going to play Utah this year in
What
regular
about Notre
season.
Dame?
Well, they'll
I
have
don't
to get
think.
to them in the postseason.
Yeah, in the postseason they'll most likely
If they don't
play
play
Utah.
Oregon.
So I think it's going to be Oregon and Utah in the Pac-12 championship. But that's just me. Oregon has high expectations this year. But it could be USC. I mean, well-coached team. They got Caleb Williams over there. Probably going to be a dynamite quarterback. But
When you think about USC and you think about, oh my gosh, what's the guy's name again? The coach. I just forgot.
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln
Lincoln Riley. So he took over for Bob Stoops. He took over a well-established program, and then he grew it into something possibly even better. He's taking over a 4-8 team.
Well, and he brought his guys from Oklahoma, too.
He brought a guy.
A guy. That's right. Yeah.
It's a very key, important piece. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
he brought some other guys, but they're not as big.
Let's talk about this. Do you think teams like USC and Nebraska will ever be back to where they once were?
I think USC could get back there under Lincoln Riley,
Yeah.
only because of the recruiting, right? I don't feel like.
But that's going to take a while, right?
Yeah, well, you have to build the Pac-12 up to make it a place where people want to go. But aren't they going? They're going to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
Big
going to be a huge recruiting piece for USC now, saying, hey, in 2 or 3 years we're going to be at the Big Ten, and by the way, we're going to be able to play for national championships no matter what if we win.
Yeah,
If
even
you're
if
a
you're
top
from
player, though, and you've got that versus you've got, hey, come play for us, we're in the SEC, where do you go?
Yeah, so
Where do
actually,
you go? Honestly,
yeah.
where do you go?
So
you
Alabama just took a top recruit, a 5-star recruit. I can't remember what his name was, but this is what he said: I want to play for the best team, and I want to practice against the best players every game or every time I practice. I want to practice against the best. And that's why I chose Alabama.
That's right.
But then again, think about Ohio State. You're going to be practicing against the best players also.
You are.
But
Yeah.
not even Ohio
I
State.
agree.
If you think
I
about
agree.
USC, say you got a kid from the East Coast, all right? He's afraid to go home, but he knows that he's going to come back to the East Coast, Midwest,
Yep.
not too far for his family to travel to go see his games.
Right.
That's something
that
they're
happens. That happens.
something
Yeah.
they're going to get to see.
But-
You're not going to have that opportunity in the SEC if you're from the West Coast, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
But a lot of
So that's going to open up
parents,
new
totally agree.
opportunities for these guys.
a lot of parents of these big time players, like they'll move to wherever their kids are going to school at.
Tagovailoa.
There's more than just that, but yeah.
But I mean that's a prime example. They moved from Hawaii to Alabama.
Exactly, yeah. So if that's the case, California is a pretty damn expensive place to just move to. You know,
Especially around where USC and UCLA are.
there's a few things that kids take into consideration when they're choosing their school. But USC, I mean, you go to that campus, it's in the middle, it's LA, you know.
And I don't know if UCLA is going to be able to make the jump to the Big Ten like USC is.
Right.
Right now they're talking about cancel, like basically the governor, isn't it, or maybe one of the senators is trying to.
Their governor was talking about canceling, but that's a political thing. I don't think that's going to happen. He doesn't have that much control over it, I would imagine.
Well,
It's
I
a
think
state
he does.
score.
Yeah, maybe there is some control over it. So, but I think USC can get to where they were in the past with the right luck and skill that goes along with it. If you know what I mean.
What do you have to offer in Nebraska anymore?
Yeah.
No, nobody has anything to offer in
Can
Nebraska.
Nebraska get back to where they were in the 90s?
I mean that was like part two.
Yeah,
of
so
your
that
question.
was part 2 of the question. I wish Scott Frost can do it. It's been 4 seasons, and he hasn't done it. He hasn't had a winning season yet. So, that being said, if there's anyone that can do it and build the dream at Nebraska, it's Scott Frost. This season's going to determine whether that's going to happen or not, but they're out in the middle of freaking nowhere. Flying to Omaha, Nebraska is not fun. It's probably the worst place to fly to. It's like trying to recruit in North Dakota, like pretty much. And you're driving an hour and a half from Omaha to get to Lincoln, Nebraska if you're flying in there. Or if they fly you in, you can fly in Lincoln, Nebraska, but still, it's not a glamorous place to go to school. Now, the fans are freaking amazing. And they go to the Midwest and like, I mean, if you're a college guy that's a 2 or 3 star, you know, maybe you're like, oh, look at all the hot chicks running around.
I
type
do
thing.
miss the Nebraska-Oklahoma rivalry, though. That was great back in the 80s
Yeah.
and early to
Fantastic.
mid-90s.
Well,
I
last
miss that
year,
for the sport.
Oklahoma barely beat Nebraska. This year, they're saying it's going to be a pretty
They
challenging
lost a
game.
lot of close games last year.
Yeah,
Frost
it
was
was.
very lucky to have a job this year.
It was.
Right down to the very end.
Yeah, it was 7 games won by less than 1 possession.
Yeah,
7
yeah,
games
yeah, it
lost
was
by less than 1 possession.
Almost a flip of a coin, and that's a completely different conversation we're having about Scott Frost.
If they can beat the crap out of Northwestern this week and really put together because Northwestern's not a bad team. So
No, they're typically pretty strong and sound on defense. I don't know who Nebraska has.
their quarterback came from Texas, who had the thumb injury, and now
Okay.
he's fully healed. I can't remember what his name is right now, but he's fully healed up, ready to play.
me
And
check
when you
with our
listen,
analysts.
get with the guys in the back room quick. We got to figure out this guy's name. But he came from Texas. Solid player last year when he played, and I think he was a 4 or 5 star quarterback. Probably a 4-star quarterback coming out of high school. But really, when you listen to when you listen to the press conferences, you're like, wow, this guy really knows how to lead a team. And you need a good leader on a football team in order to put things together. So hopefully that's the case. But we'll know on Saturday whether that's the case because they play at 11:30 in the morning.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I'll be
Is that
sitting
our
there.
first game of the day?
That's the first game of the day, and I have front row center for that one because that's my team. That's my Big Ten team is Nebraska. So,
I'm sorry.
I don't see you going
did
there.
you figure out what this guy's name is, Ripper? Or do I
I'm
need
working
to,
on it.
I
I'm
mean,
working
guys
on
in the back, did you figure it out? All right.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. All right. I wanted to talk new coaches for the season, and I need to get my man, Who's Your Daddy, in on this thing because you probably followed Notre Dame a little bit in your life, right?
I have, but I really am not a big Notre Dame fan from being in Indiana.
How bad do you hate Notre Dame?
I can't say it on the airways.
You might offend some fans, and they have a huge fan base.
That's
Yes,
a
they
God's
do.
team?
But I'm not a big Notre Dame fan. I'm not a big fan of the LSU coach right now. I
Okay.
think his ego is probably bigger than the LSU stadium in itself.
So I thought it was funny with all these pictures of him coming out, and it looks like he's like twerking against some of his players in the background or something like that. That was funny to watch. I think that he got a lot of bad press coverage coming into
Well,
LSU.
from the get-go, remember he tried to talk with an accent, like a southern
He
accent?
did, yeah.
From New
Okay.
Jersey.
LSU's a tricky place
You didn't
to
see
coach.
that?
No.
Oh, so
Oh,
miserable.
my.
That should be a WTF.
If you haven't seen it, please
I gotta look
get
that
on
up.
YouTube. Look at
You know, he's
all
got to
Ryan
come out of the
Kelly,
gate and
Southern
really,
accent
and really
on YouTube.
capture. He's got to come out of the gate and really capture these fans.
Oh yeah.
And once he does, if he's successful, then you have to just stay that way, right? You know, Ed
Yeah.
Ogeron came out and did the same thing, won the national championship, and then it's kind of downhill after that.
I mean,
right?
2
You
seasons
can't-
after he wins the national championship, he's gone.
Yeah,
Like Brian Kelly has a uphill battle.
it's a tough place to coach.
Maybe he's a 2 and done.
He has no solid starter at quarterback right now. It's going to be challenging. And an unexperienced, or excuse me, has an experienced wide receiving core. But other than that, he has an uphill battle to get to where he needs to be. You don't like Brian Kelly?
No, I don't. But I will say this about, they probably have some of the finest facilities. If you look at what they have to work with to recruit players,
Yeah.
I mean, their locker room is phenomenal. I mean, it's unbelievable. If you have not seen that, you need to look it up.
Well, that's why Florida is now recruiting 4 and 5 stars left and right because they just opened an $85 million facility last week.
They're just
They've been
catching.
bringing these kids in
They're
there.
just catching up with everybody, though.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but they're in the top 10. They're a top 10 recruiting class
As
right
we
now.
talked earlier, you know, you want to go somewhere where you're playing and practicing against the best. Well, you're going to play against the best, but you may not be practicing against the best.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's right.
At LSU, you're in the SEC West.
Right.
You got Alabama, you got Arkansas, which Texas A&M though. You're gonna play
Arkansas is going to be good this year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But we're gonna find out officially week 2 how good South Carolina is.
They play Arkansas week
That's
2,
right.
right? Yeah.
At Arkansas.
I saw somebody that predicted Arkansas and Kentucky in the SEC championship. I was like, wow.
Arkansas and
I
Kentucky.
was like, wow.
And he
Yeah,
just
they're-
kept on going,
I think
right?
Kentucky's a sleeper. I really do.
See,
I'm
I'm
not
not
They're-
saying. I'm not saying.
Kentucky's been a sleeper for like 10 years.
Arkansas
Yeah.
may be too,
I know.
man. We may.
They just
you
can't
know,
get over
he
that
may know
hump.
something we don't.
So those two teams have some of the longest running coaching staffs in college football right now, is what I've heard. So that could be a good thing. But then again, you're getting good recruits because of that. But I don't think they're getting the top rated players, obviously, like Alabama, Texas A&M, Georgia are. Even Tennessee's probably getting better recruits than Kentucky is getting. So we'll see. Billy Napier at Florida. Obviously, I'm a Florida fan. I love the guy. Been watching a lot of his stuff, but he's coming off a very challenging season last season. Has a quarterback that started about 2 games in AR-15, Anthony Richardson.
He doesn't use that name anymore.
He doesn't?
No, he does not want to be associated with AR-15 and gun violence.
Correct.
Well,
Just want to put that out.
Yeah, he's already.
That's why they're not referring to him. Oh, wow, okay.
That's probably a good choice.
I don't know, man. I'm still okay with AR-15.
He does have the
so.
strongest arm in the SEC, though.
He does, yeah. I saw something about that today. So I'm excited about it. Is anyone else excited about Billy Napier and the prospects of a national championship in 2 or 3 seasons?
All the people
Not at
in
all.
Florida are excited.
Except for the FSU
All the
fans.
people in your family.
Hey, do you know where Emory Jones went?
He went to Arizona State, I think.
Oregon.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did.
He did.
Wow.
Okay,
So
I
did
swore he went to
so did,
Arizona.
Bo Nix from Auburn.
No, Bo Nix is at Oregon, and Emory Jones is at Arizona.
I am totally
You need to
messing this
get
up.
your shit together, Ripper the Predictor.
Hey,
You can
my,
predict, but
my
you can't.
analysts back here are failing.
They are
right now.
screwing
Wait,
things
did
up
we
right
need to
now,
bleep
man.
you just then?
No. We can have 1 curse word per show,
That was it.
and that's it.
So I think Billy Napier is going to be a good coach. I think Florida is going to have a good year, not a great year. This year, I think he's got some building to do. So I think it's more of a long-term hire than hey, look what we can do this year hire, in my opinion.
So 9-3 or 8-4?
Maybe 7-5.
Maybe 7-5.
7-5.
Yeah.
Oh,
So maybe
kill my,
7-5.
break my
I mean,
soul.
it is.
6 and 6.
It
That's
is
better
It
than-
is.
hey.
Boneyard. See ya, bro.
That's better than
Bonesaw.
7-8.
Bonesaw. Sorry.
I mean, it is not out of the realm of possibility for them to be 0-2. It's not out of the realm
It's
of
a lot better,
possibility.
lot better than 4-8.
Utah is a great program.
Yeah, Utah and Kentucky. You know,
Kentucky.
Yeah, you get past Utah and Kentucky, you build some momentum. Yeah, then maybe a 9-3 is good. But you come out of the gates 0-2, man. I think you're looking at 7-5.
Challenging, man. Yeah, this is sad.
You were right. It is Arizona State. I just saw SEC quarterback that can run but not throw, and I was thinking Emory Jones, but I got him and Bo Nix mixed up. My bad.
Man, our production
My bad.
team,
Look at him dogging on Bo Nix.
Where did
man.
that come from?
our production team in the back does a great job of looking things
Nice
up.
one, nice one. He can run but not throw. I like that.
Lincoln Riley at USC. We kind of talked
That's
about him
my
already.
kid. That's my man.
All right, Caleb Williams, top 5 quarterback, surrounded by Travis Dye, a top 20 running back, and 2 top 10 receivers, Jordan Addison and Mario Williams. So they might have some chances, but Lincoln Riley is in a building program right
We
now.
learned last week Lincoln Riley is the only coach ranked. He's number 14, right?
That's right, yeah.
From
Lincoln
a
Riley
team that was
ranked
4 and 8 last year.
Yeah.
Now Lincoln Riley is number 14 in the country.
I think that they've
Got a
really,
lot of faith in him.
I think they got a lot of faith in him, yeah. But
He's
we'll
a good
see.
leader.
Everything is in the air. It's week 0.
Yeah.
There's nothing even happening yet. So Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame. The weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life is them ranked number 5 right now in the people. New coach,
New quarterback, new running back,
yeah.
but
What's
they got a
going
hell of
on?
a tight end.
Well, he better make a lot of catches then.
He
And
will.
put up a lot of yards.
He will.
But do you think Marcus Freeman is going to be the coach next year, or you think they're just going to kind of keep him there as an interim until they find someone new?
No, I
Because that
think-
was weird because he was the assistant to,
He was a defensive coordinator.
yeah, he was to Brian Kelly.
Right.
So I thought it was odd that they were like, okay, let's just name him coach after he doesn't have that much experience in coaching as a head coach.
Well, he was a defensive coordinator for Brian Kelly at Cincinnati before he went to Notre Dame.
Yeah,
So he doesn't have any head coaching experience.
none.
But Brian Kelly tried to take him from Notre Dame and get him to go be the defensive coordinator at LSU. And that is when Notre Dame said, all right, we're going to go ahead and name Marcus Freeman as our new head coach. I think he's going to be a good head coach. I don't think he is a top 5 ranked team right now, and I believe he understands that. But again, this is ratings. This is getting viewership right now from his first preseason poll.
It's insane that they would put. Yeah, it's for ratings. That's true. Because it's insane that they would put Notre Dame top 5. Marcus Freeman, I mean, he's at the helm of one of the biggest programs in the country, and I think he's been coaching for 8 years total.
And they haven't won a national championship since 1988.
Yeah.
They're due.
And what about
They're due.
what about bowl wins? I don't know if they've had in the last few years have they even won a bowl game?
Well, they got 2 losses too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they might have had bowl games that they've won in, some of the lesser bowls, but not when they made the playoffs at all.
And they've had a lot of average years in that span between today and the last national championship. Did anybody watch that Manti Te'o special on Netflix? Pretty good. Check it out.
Not yet. I want to.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, we got to stop. No, wait. Brent Venables at Oklahoma. Last one. Really quick, go. Brent Venables, Oklahoma.
He'll be fine. I think he's going to do okay there. They've got to transition over the SEC. It's going to be a tough transition.
But Brent Venables picked up a good freaking program to be the head coach of,
Yeah,
moving
but-
into the SEC and.
Yeah, but are you a top Big 12 program moving in, and then you're going to be a mid-level SEC team?
Well, Texas A&M has gotten to the point after they moved.
No, Texas A&M is not a top SEC team. They're mid-level.
What?
They're mid-tier. Texas A&M is mid-tier.
At this point, they are top tier.
they are not.
Oh, yes, they are.
They have yet.
You sick in the head, boy!
They haven't won the West yet.
They haven't won the West yet. That's true.
No,
Good
you're
point.
totally buying into that hype, man. They are not a top-tier SEC team.
Okay.
They're a top
No.
3 in their division.
Okay, yeah.
Which is
Not the conference.
Yeah, they're not a top tier.
There's a lot of people yelling
There are
at
two.
their podcasts
there's-
right now.
There are only 2 top tier teams, and that's Alabama and Georgia. Everybody else is below them.
All right, so Oklahoma, when they come to the SEC, they'll be at the bottom rung, you think? Even under Brent.
No, they can be a mid-level.
I don't think they're going to be at the bottom. I think maybe mid, maybe low mid, but
maybe like an Ole Miss,
yeah.
Ole Miss tier.
Venables is a great defensive coach. We'll see what happens.
First time head coach.
Yeah.
That's a whole new ball game.
Backing up 1 second, Notre Dame has not had a major bowl win since 1994.
Wow.
Rick Meyer, I believe, was the quarterback then.
Wow.
wow.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Say it.
What the
The fuck? What's your what the fuck, Ripper?
Come back to me.
Come back to you. All right.
Oh, I got mine.
What's your what the fuck? Chase.
Mine is Jordan Addison signing with United Airlines for the name, image, and likeness agreement.
Really?
Yes, so he signed with them, and they immediately went and started making direct flights to places like Alabama's game at Texas, Washington State at
Oh,
Wisconsin.
that is genius for them to do that.
They did. So they started
Wow.
they took all these top games they know people were going to be going to. Tennessee Volunteers at LSU on October the 18th, direct flight to it. Penn State at Michigan, direct flight. Clemson
What the
and Notre
fuck?
Dame.
All right, that's a good one. All right, my man Chopper, what's your what the fuck?
What the fuck? I'm gonna go with Nick Saban's new contract.
Oh,
8-year, $93 million contract.
Wow.
Is any coach really worth that much?
No.
as much as he's done for that program, I think he's worth every penny. Maybe even maybe even an extra bonus or two.
Maybe even more, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
As much as he's done for that program, now that puts him how long? How long was the contract for?
8 years. He's 70.
78.
Oh my
Whoa.
78.
Okay. He's going to be like old Joe Paterno sitting there.
That's
huh?
right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's going to be great. Okay. I mean, that's a lot of money invested in him, but I mean, the dude's done nothing but great things for that program. So what the fuck? That's a good one.
Fuck.
What the fuck? My man, who's your daddy? What's your what the fuck?
Mine goes back to Notre Dame. I just mentioned they hadn't won a major bowl since '94.
What the fuck?
They have not won a game since the BCS major bowl game since the BCS was established.
Wow. Okay, that is
So that's the
somewhat
What the Fuck movement, my What the Foo movement this week.
What the fuck?
Ripper, hit me.
All right, so my what the fuck is sad and disappointing.
Oh no.
So, second year in a row, Ohio State's got a wide receiver named as a captain of the team, Cameron Babb.
Okay.
Cameron Babb missed his freshman year because he tore his ACL his senior year of high school. He's currently a fifth-year senior. From the time he was became an Ohio State Buckeye until today, he has torn both ACLs twice. He missed, I think he played 17 snaps during the COVID year, was out all of last year for an injury, and then he was primed to actually get some playing time this year, got hurt again. What the fuck?
That's sad, man.
It is.
Yeah, that is really. I mean, the guy is going to be able to play. He's going to be like a 10th year senior.
It's time to just retire at that point.
Yeah, this will be his last year, but it's just sad. Hopefully he gets on the field. Incredibly gifted, but he's just been bitten by that injury bug time and time again. And and I really feel for him, and hopefully that, at least he gets to go out on a high note. Hopefully he catches maybe a touchdown in the national championship game to win the whole thing.
There you go. Yeah, what the fuck? That's
What
a
the
good
fuck?
one. All right, my what the fuck from your man Hanger. CJ Stroud advocating for revenue sharing.
I saw that.
The 1.7 billion media rights for the contract
Annually.
for the Big Ten network, or the Big Ten negotiated this week. Interesting. It's not an original idea, but it's something that they've talked about before. Oh, we gotta stop. They just called last call. So what is our last call today? It's going to be, what's your team's record, Chopper, at the end of the season? You're an Auburn fan. Go War Eagles.
7-5.
7-5. Are there any big wins coming?
They're all big wins.
All 7 of those?
They're all big wins.
Is one of those?
I like that, Chopper.
They're all
Very
big
good.
wins.
They
Is
are.
one of your 7 wins against Alabama?
I haven't gotten that far in my analysis.
Okay. Is one of your big wins against Texas A&M, you think?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. 7-5. All right. Cheeks, what's your college football team?
You want to take a guess?
USC?
All right, you're good.
All right. What is your team's record at the end of the season?
I was originally going to say 84, but I'm really going to go for it and say 9-3.
9-3. Nice.
That's
Okay.
legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doable.
I looked at the teams twice, and I really think they can do it.
That's a good first
Okay.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good first year with a new coach, with
Yeah.
a team that went, they did 4-8 last season?
4-8.
Yeah.
So that's a good turnaround first year as a coach, and then that gives you momentum to recruit and build the team that you want
Right.
to over there in California, which who doesn't want to live in California with a full scholarship
I don't know why I moved away from there. What did I
and
do
the
wrong?
money that comes along with it? Yeah, I don't want to live there either.
I'm here.
Everyone that's here
Who's your
doesn't
daddy? You are an Ohio State fan.
Yes, I am.
What's your team's record at the end of the season?
Well, if whatever it takes to win the national championship, I'm saying they're undefeated. 14-0.
Whoa.
That'd be 15-0.
That's a
15-0,
bold
yeah.
I think they'll
prediction.
run the table this year.
Wow.
Can they still get to the national championship if they lose to Notre Dame?
They're not going to lose.
But
No,
yes.
but can they still
Yes.
get there?
Yeah, they can.
Is there still a path to get there?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think they will stop.
I don't think they
Notre
will.
Dame's so early in the season, it hardly even matters.
Yeah.
It's a non-conference game. You'll
I
get
know.
to the conference championship.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you get to the conference championship and you win
I agree with
against Nebraska, then, All right. My man Ripper, are you going to give me some are you going to set a reality check on my man Who's Your Daddy, or are you going to say the same 15-0?
I'm going to be real with you.
Real. Hit
All right.
me.
15-0.
South Carolina Gamecocks are going to go 8-4 this year.
Oh, man, you surprised me with that
The
one.
Kansas State Wildcats
Okay.
K-State.
are going to go 11-1.
Whoa. K-State.
I thought they were going to the national championship, though.
Well, this is just regular season.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Ohio State Buckeyes are going 11-1 in the
Who was
regular
their
season.
loss?
Michigan State.
You think they're... Wow, okay. Man, if you are
Michigan State.
if you are truly Ripper the Predictor, that would be awesome to see it happen for me, but not
I don't
for
want
you.
to see them lose, but they can still they'll still make the Big Ten championship, win the Big Ten championship, get in as a 3 or 4 seed for the playoffs, knock off Alabama in the championship.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Them's big words.
Yeah.
Them's big words.
From a little guy.
All right, ask me mine.
All right,
Oh, good God.
what's it gonna be?
What's Florida gonna do?
Florida, they're gonna go. Man, I can't do it.
3-9.
No, they're gonna go 11-1.
Oh, jeez.
He'll be coach of the year.
Did somebody
If
hit you in the
Florida-
head?
what team are you talking about?
Did someone hit you in the
The
head?
Gators, 11-1
You're high.
Their only loss is to
Drink up.
Florida State at the end of the season.
No. No. We're cutting you off.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I thought I was stuck in the 90s.
I may have drank too much beer, but okay.
Danny
they're gonna
Warfel
go.
is going to be our quarterbacks
I'm
coach.
thinking
And
9-3, but they do beat Georgia.
Wow.
9-3, they beat Georgia. 10-2, but they beat Georgia. There we go, 10-2.
7-5.
Okay.
Nebraska, 10-2. Nebraska's
7-5.
going 10-2. Mark my words.
Okay, so
Maybe
your
6 and
final
6.
your final answer is 10-2.
For both of my teams, Nebraska and Florida.
Wow.
They play each
10
other in the Outback
2.
Bowl.
And then they play each other in the Outback Bowl. That would be amazing, right? I would
would be.
definitely buy tickets. I'd be wearing like
Actually,
I'd be
it'll be the
wearing-
Capital One Bowl.
I'd be wearing the House
Rather the
Divided
Citrus Bowl with 10 wins,
That's
you
the
know?
same thing, yeah.
the House Divided shirt, you
Can't
know.
spell citrus without
That
UT,
happens. We're
though.
playing his show back.
I know.
And we're all going down to that game with our press passes. That's what we're doing.
Boom.
I'm gonna figure out this press pass idea. All right, that's the end of the show, y'all. Hopefully you kept on listening because there's $1 million for you if you kept on listening. If you read Ripper the Predictor's column and you find the magic word. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I appreciate you listening. This is Guys at the Bar talking sports. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, how can I help these guys out? Well, first thing you can do, subscribe to the show. By subscribing to the show, you'll be able to hear it every single week on your favorite podcatcher. Second thing you do, if your podcatcher lets you do it, give it a review and 5 stars. I know Apple Podcasts will allow you to do that. So give it 5 stars and a review. And then the third thing you do is hop on Facebook, type in Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. You'll see our group there. Join it. You'll love it. Best sports group on Facebook, guaranteed. Lots of good stuff going on in there, so check it out. And then come back next week for Guys at the Bar Talking Sports.